Hey guys, we're back at another deck profile for 2021. My boy Nate's going to show you his Tenyi deck.
Yeah, and to get it started, I'm going to start off with the main guy. It's Ashina. All the Tinny cards, they all share the same effect. As long as you control no effect monsters, they special summon from the hand, and each of them have unique effects where they can banish from the hand or grave. For more specifically, this guy he banishes from hand or grave to special from deck. Any Tinny monster besides himself. So you run three of them. He's the main guy, and I run three of each Tinny card just to for more consistency reasons. Some people run 9 hand traps. I run 6 in this deck, and you'll see him soon. But this man right here, he's your revival of the deck. If a normal dies on your side of the field, you just it has to be destroyed. It doesn't have to be sent to grave. You can banish this card from hand or grave, bring one of the monsters destroyed, and pop a card on the field, and the popping effect doesn't target. So that's nice. It's a
That's
nice
pretty
plus.
good.
Yeah, it gets around a lot of shit. But this guy also doesn't target. Run 3 of him. His effect: hand or grave, banish. Select one monster on the field, it loses 1500 attack at attack declaration. And like I said, he also special summons from hand when you only control basically normal monsters, no effect monsters. And here's the fire guy. They all have different attributes. That's going to be important later. But this one, if a normal monster is targeted by a card effect, any card effect, you can banish from hand or grave, negate and destroy the card that's targeting your normal monster. Run 3 of him. Next, 3 Edhara. 3 is very important because he's going to grab your banished back to hand. You just banish him from hand or grave. Select one of the Tinyis. It can be himself. If you banish, say you already have one in banished,
Yeah.
you can just banish this. He says specifically you can't grab this card, but you can still grab another copy of him if you need it. So you can banish him from grave, add the other one.
Okay.
Alright. Next, we have probably one of the stronger cards in the deck. He banishes and he bounces. It targets though, but still really good. He bounces, free level 7 on the board, decent defense. Then we got a card I never see in any other deck profile that I look at this, or look for this specific deck, but this guy, I don't know why people don't run him. He's a good tech. He basically, you banish 3 different attributes, which all of the Tinny cards are different attributes, and you can banish from field and or grave. Special summon him. He can't be destroyed by card effects once he's on the field. And once per turn, you can call one attribute of a monster that is on the field on either player's side of the field. So if your opponent special summons a lot of lights, you target a light on his side, destroys all light monsters on the field, and until the end of next turn, neither player can special summon lights. And the little tech, even if he's alone on the board, you can target himself because he's a dark. There's a lot of good dark cards like Dragoon out there. You can just target himself. Opponent's locked out of darks.
That's pretty good.
And then the good combo card of the deck, Mermere. You use Shaman in the extra deck, which we'll show in a second, but this card can only be brought out by the effect of another worm monster, but up to 3 times per turn. It's a rare kind of context to the effect, but you can summon 1 worm token. It's low attack and defense, but it helps with the plays.
Why not play 3?
It clogs a little too much. 2 is just the right amount. There is a chance that I banish it with a card I'm going to show you later, but 2 is just the right amount. 1's not enough, 3 is too much, basically. And then we have this card, Lava Golem.
Oh, this card, man. This card sucks.
Yeah, except it's really good in this deck because there's a lot of cards that... There's a lot of problem cards that this deck cannot just deal with. So Lava Golem it's there. And if you really need 2 monsters to get him out there, but if they have 1 monster, chances are you're going to be able to get over it instead of using Lava Golem. So 2 is better than 1, so I'd rather run it than Gamseel. And just standard 3 Ash.
Of course.
Of course. Now for the spells, we're going to start with the most important one. I actually forget his name. What is it? Vessel for the Dragon Circle. Basically, your searcher and your dump. So as long as you control normal, you can send 1 worm to the graveyard and add a Tinny monster from deck to hand. If you don't control normal, you can still foolish a monster. But yeah, it's just your searcher and your play starter. Then we have another pretty good card. Some people run it at 2. I choose to run it at 3 just to get around certain hand traps, like impermanents. But you tribute 1 worm monster on the field, and you can search any... is it Tinny card or Tinny monster? Tribute on your hand tribute. You can search any Tinny monster or worm monster. If you tributed a normal monster for its effect, you can special summon from the deck any Tenyi monster.
And that's the field spell, right?
No, this is the quick play.
Okay.
We'll get to the. It can search out the field spell though. If you banish it from grave while you control a normal monster, you can search any Tenyi card, so you can get your any trap, spell, or monster to hand.
Okay.
And speaking of the field spell, here's this. It's a really good card. I think it should just be run at 2. 3 is a little too much, especially when you can search it with the last spell I just showed. Basically, as long as I control a normal monster, if you special summon an effect, or if my opponent special summons an effect monster while I control that and the normal monster, I draw 2. And it's once per either player's turn. And while I have a normal monster in this on the field, my normal monsters are unaffected by monster effects, which is really good for Nibiru.
Right.
And then I run 2 Pot of Desire. It's kind of scary running this card, but there's a lot of searchers in the deck, so I'm not really afraid of banishing my 2 copies of Mirror when I can search it so easily. As long as but yeah, this is just to help with consistency and to get the combo cards I need, and just in case I don't draw them. And for the last bit, I only run 3 traps. It's just your counter for the deck. You need a normal monster on field, and it doesn't destroy, but it has a second effect that we'll get to in a minute.
And how many cards do you play in the main deck?
Just 40.
40? Okay.
Yeah, I honestly don't see any problem with running more than that if it's like 41, 43, but I just prefer to have the even number. And then for the extra deck, we're going to play 3 Monk. It's a normal monster. It weirds people out the first time they see it, but you need it because all the Tenyi monsters only special summon as long as you don't control any effect monsters. So he's your main combo piece. You're always going to go into him first. Then we have the main extender of the deck, Shaman. She basically just discards 1 card, special summon a worm, which is the card you use to get out Mirror, because Mirror can only be brought out by a worm monster's effect. And it also has the second effect where if a attack declaration is declared involving any of my normal monsters, even if it's a direct attack with him, I can pop 1 card on the field and it targets.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, there's a lot of combos you can do with that. But then we got the beat stick of the deck.
And that's the other normal monster, right?
Yes, so he's also kind of an extender in the sense that you get him out, and you can still keep special summoning as long as you don't control any other effect monsters. But he's just 3k beat stick, and a lot of those cards go off for him, so you attack with him, make him lose 1500. He dies, you can bring him back, pop a card with the blue guy, Shatana, but anyways, yeah, you run 2 of him. 3's a little too much. This guy's a 1-of. He's pretty good, very situational. He only goes off if he's the only effect monster on the field, but he's very good late game if you're just one of those drawn out matches, because for every normal monster on the field and or in grave, he can pop that many effect monsters on the field. So if I have 5 effect monsters, you can pop 5, 6, 6, and so on. And it doesn't target. Then we got the boss monster, Link 4. He's your token maker, and he's also kind of controlling. He as long as you control a normal monster, he prevents your opponent from targeting effect monsters for attacks and or card effects, which it comes in handy a lot when the opponent can't even target their own effect monsters for any of their effects. So they can't equip anything or anything like that. And it's not hard to get a normal monster out because quick effect during either player's turn, I can target 1 monster on my opponent's side of the field, make a token out of it, and it gets its original attack. And yeah, it's just an extender and easy card to use. Link Rebo, because the tokens that Mirror makes are level 1, and Adhera is a level 1 tuner that you can also use to bring him out. It's just a good extender in case you need a Link on the field. And then we run 1 IP Masquerena to make that 3k beat stick invulnerable to card effects, destruction effects at least. It's just really good for that. We run this guy. It's just another normal to get out. It's not a worm, it's a cyber. So if you use what the fuck's his name? Ashina. If you use Ashina effect, it locks you out of worms, so you can't bring him out if you use his effect. But there's some plays where you need to just get rid of the 2 monsters on field to make this guy so you can special summon more from hand. And for the synchros, Draco Berserker. Very good. When a monster effect is activated, you can banish it. It doesn't negate, but it's still a play disruptor, and it's very good for helping to end with games because his second effect is if he destroys a monster by battle, he gains its attack permanently, and he can make a second attack on another monster. I've gotten him up to like 9k before. Very nutty. I'm going to play 1 Ying Zhang monster, or Zhang Yang, whatever they're called. But anyways, he's comes in handy every now and then. When there's a monster on field you can't destroy or banish, you just shuffle it back into the deck. It's pretty good, especially since your two materials are always going to be different attributes, one earth, one dark, or light, because he shuffles back into the deck depending how many attributes are used for his synchro summon.
Okay, that's pretty good for the deck.
And my blue eyes right here.
You can actually summon that card.
With that card. The second effect that I mentioned earlier, when this card is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, special summons one normal fusion type from the extra deck.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's gone off a couple times. Honestly, if you want to be more consistent, you could probably add just a different card, but this is just for... This is so much fun to get out when you see the other person's face, like, how did you get blue eyes out? And you tell them, and they're like, you can't believe it. I'm going to go ahead and show my side deck. Some people main this card. I choose not to, just because I think it's more bricky than Lava Golem. I made the deck to go second, so this is kind of goes against that a little bit, but it's still very good if you choose to main it. So, Vanity Fiend, just for that. And then, in case you go against anything that Ash isn't the best against, you can just side those out for this.
Yeah, grave effects are meta right now.
Oh, yeah, they are. And that's also why we run 3 DD Crow. Just banish any targets your opponent's trying to special summon or anything of the such. Helps a lot. And I run this. It's just a placeholder. I don't know what else I would put in here for this, but just prevent your opponent from setting and activating spells. I believe traps as well, or just spells. Spell or trap cards, which is very good for locking them out of that if they're very dependent on that shit.
For control decks.
Oh yeah. And then triple cyclone, just because there's some pesky side deck cards that I can't really deal with if they get on the board, so
right.
Need that.
You mind showing us the combo?
Yeah, I got a 2-card combo I can do real quick. Let's see. It involves that guy. And the most important Tenyi, this guy. Alright, so let's just say you had a 3rd card in hand. You're going to special summon this guy because you control no effect monsters. Once you special summon him out, you can go ahead and link him away. Bring him out. Activate this, and since you control a normal monster, you can send a card and add 1 card. So what you want to do is you want to send 1 Mermer to the grave. And add any monster you think you might need. If you feel like your guy's going to get destroyed, you could add the blue guy. If you feel like you're going to get targeted, the red guy or so on, we'll just go ahead and add the red. It doesn't really matter. Whatever you feel like you need in your hand at the time, that's what you're going to do. So then you special summon red dude. Link for 2. Bring out... Where is she? Oh. Shaman. You're going to use Shaman effect to discard the 3rd card in hand. Special summon Mermer. Where is she? There you go. Then you're just going to use it for 3 tokens. 1, 2, 3 tokens. And remember that Ashen is engraved. So you're going to link 2 tokens away. Go into IP Masquerena. And then you're going to use Ashen effect, banish from grave to special from deck. And then you can special summon another. Since we already have that red dude, we have protection from targeting effects. Let's go ahead and get protection from if they attack. Since attack's the only way they're going to get over that 3k beater once we use her effect. So you're going to go ahead and synchro these 2. Jacob Berserker. Now you have an interruption. You can either end turn and link on their turn, or you can just go ahead and link right now. And you get your beater that cannot be destroyed by card effects, and the only way you're going to get rid of him is by battle. Or if you target him with the banish or bounce effect. And that's just an easy 2-card combo that's very common in the deck. Very easy to go to. It's just your go-to combo.
Alright, anything you want to add? Any advice?
No, I just wish I saw more of this deck in play. I feel like it's underrated very, very much.
Hopefully some guys get some inspiration and follow your steps.
Hopefully.
Thanks for the deck profile.
No problems.